Get your hands up.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Señor Fancypants.
From an underground laboratory in Pennsylvania comes the Señor Fancypants Show, a podcast that has 2 listeners in Spain. Please give it up for your handsome host, Señor Brian Fancypants.
All right. Thanks for that incredible intro, random guy who is definitely not me. Welcome to the Señor Fancypants Show. This is episode 6, or for our 2 Spanish listeners, this is episode 6. As usual, I'm here with my awesome co-host, Lincoln.
Hola, fancy fans.
Thanks for joining us once again. We've got an incredible show today. It's definitely the best episode we've made since the last one.
Agreed.
We've got some great music for you, some interesting questions, and you might even learn some things. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about the great country of England. England is, of course, the birthplace of one of Lincoln's favorite television shows, which, of course, is...
Doctor Who.
Say that again with a little less yawn, Lincoln.
Doctor Who.
Yes, we've talked about Doctor Who before. The Doctor Who character is not a medical doctor, is it, Lincoln?
No.
No, just an extraterrestrial being who travels through time and space to save people and sometimes entire civilizations from being harmed or destroyed by villains. You get it. Now, the latest season of Doctor Who, as we've mentioned before, features the first ever female doctor, played by the brilliant actress Jodie Whittaker. The new season has actually already begun, and we have actually seen a few episodes, and they were fantastic. What did you think, Lincoln? Is this season up to your standards so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far, and I haven't really seen any of the other previous seasons, which is not a problem because I didn't need to see those to really appreciate this one. So go ahead and check it out, even if you've never seen a season before. Now, I don't recommend Doctor Who for young children just because there are some very scary parts in it, but if you are a parent and your child is interested, I recommend that you view it first. Lincoln is 8 years old and he has no issues with it at all, but all kids are different when it comes to this stuff. Now, speaking of Doctor Who, Lincoln is planning to be one of the doctors for Halloween. Lincoln, which doctor are you going to be this year?
I am going to be the 11th Doctor.
11th Doctor. That's Lincoln's favorite doctor. Awesome. Now, you probably are going to be the only 11th Doctor in our neighborhood, and I appreciate your uniqueness. Are you excited about going trick-or-treating this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of candy are you hoping to get?
Nerds.
Nerds are great. What else do you like?
Skittles.
Skittles.
And pretty much anything sour.
Yes, you love that sour stuff. I'm more of a chocolate kind of person. I really appreciate Milky Ways and Kit Kats and Almond Joys and especially Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Now, our neighborhood gives out lots of candy, so we're going to need to purchase some extra dental floss for the coming weeks.
It's the end of October. It's almost Halloween. I'm ready for some candy. Let's make a strategy. You've got a map of all the rich neighborhoods. I've got a backpack where we can store all the goods. Under the glow of the moon and stars, we'll find the houses with the full-size candy bars. Because tonight, when the sun goes down, we're gonna knock on every door in town.
That short Halloween song was brought to you by Salt.
Putting salt on your food will make it taste salty. Salt. Buy it in a store that sells salt. So it was actually Lincoln who decided that England would be our place of the day today. He really wants to visit England, and hopefully we'll be able to make that happen in the near future. And it's not just because he likes Doctor Who. One of Lincoln's favorite authors comes from England as well. Who is it, Lincoln?
J.K. Rowling,
Yes, she happens to be the author of...
the Harry Potter series.
So yeah, two of Lincoln's favorite things have a connection to England. I have personally been to England several times in my life, and I love it. So here are a few facts about England in no particular order.
To get to England from where we live, you would have to take an airplane or go on a really long boat ride.
Yes, England is just over 3,500 miles from Philadelphia, which is just over 5,600 kilometers. If you have a globe, find Pennsylvania. It's on the east coast of the United States. Now cross the Atlantic Ocean with your finger. Then when you hit Portugal or Spain, just go north until you get just past France. Now you should be close to England. If your finger is swimming in the Norwegian Sea, you have gone too far. Now, if you don't have a globe, just use your imagination or look it up on the internet.
In England, you can never be more than 70 miles from the sea.
There's a place in England called Coton in the Elms, and it is 113 kilometers, or about 70 miles from the sea. That's about as far as you can get from the coast in England. So it's not a very big country, but they still have a pretty large population. Over 54 million people live in England.
You can get to England from France through an underwater tunnel.
It's a very long tunnel called the Channel Tunnel, although most people shorten the name and call it the Chunnel. The Chunnel goes underneath a body of water called the English Channel, and it's about 31 miles long. That's about 50 kilometers. Now, you can't just drive a car through it. If you have a vehicle, you got to park it right on a train, and that'll take you right through the tunnel. Now, Lincoln, what are your thoughts about traveling that far in an underwater tunnel? Is that scary to you?
Not really.
Sounds kind of crazy to me. Now, I've never been through the Chunnel, but I have crossed the English Channel a couple of times by taking a ferry boat. I really enjoyed it, but the train is a lot faster.
In England, you drive on the left side of the road.
And the steering wheel is on the right side of the car. Of course, this is not unique to England. There are 76 countries and territories in the world where you drive on the left side of the road. If you aren't used to it, though, it can be very confusing.
In England, there are more chickens than people.
The chickens don't know this, though, so don't tell them. The last thing England needs right now is a chicken uprising.
The money they use in England is called pounds.
That's right. For some reason, they do not use American dollars in England. Go figure. Now, something to remember when traveling to any foreign country is that you are going to need to exchange your money for the type of money used in that country. If you were to go to England right now from the United States, you would have to exchange $1.31 in order to get 1 British pound. Or for another example, if you are an Australian using Australian dollars, you would need to exchange $1.84 to get 1 British pound. And the exchange rates change regularly, but you kind of get the idea.
English people drink more tea than any other people in the world.
Yeah, England is just one giant tea party.
One of the most popular cities for tourists in England is called London.
London is home to over 8 million people. It's the largest city in England and in the United Kingdom. It's also the capital of England and the UK. Now, real quick, I'm going to tell you the difference between Great Britain and the United Kingdom. They do not mean the same thing. Great Britain includes 3 countries, England, Scotland, and Wales. The United Kingdom includes all 3 countries in Great Britain with the addition of Northern Ireland. There you have it. It's that simple. Okay, here's a few more interesting facts about the great city of London.
London is home to the world's oldest scientific zoo.
Yeah, it's called the London Zoo. It opened in 1828. They have animals there, 'cause it's a zoo. It was actually originally meant to be used just for scientific study. It wasn't open to the public until 1847.
The river that flows through London is called the River Thames.
Yeah, it's spelled Thames, but it's pronounced Thames, even though it looks like Thames. The Thames is the longest river in England. And of course, where there's a river, you will often find bridges. They're a great way to get across rivers in my experience. There are 33 bridges that cross the River Thames.
Two of the most famous bridges in London are the Tower Bridge and the London Bridge.
If you want to be able to tell the difference between the Tower Bridge and the London Bridge, here's a little trick I learned. The Tower Bridge is the one with the towers on it.
Another famous site in London is called Big Ben.
Yes, in London there's a very famous clock tower. A lot of people think that the tower or the clock is called Big Ben, but it is actually the name of one of the bells inside. There are 5 bells inside the clock tower, and the largest one has the nickname Big Ben. The tower itself used to officially be called the Clock Tower, but it was renamed the Elizabeth Tower in 2012.
More than 300 different languages are spoken in London.
Let's see, there's English, French, Turkish, and 297 others.
Buckingham Palace is located in London.
If you are not familiar with Buckingham Palace, it is the main home/headquarters for Queen Elizabeth II. That's right, England has a queen. How cool is that? Buckingham Palace has a total of 775 rooms. Now that includes many guest rooms and bathrooms, as well as offices for the people that work for the Queen. I assume there's also some party rooms, dining rooms, and living rooms.
Maybe the Queen has her own arcade.
Maybe. I would if I were the Queen, but I'm probably not eligible. Oh well. So there you have it. Those are some facts about England that we thought were interesting. If you want to learn more, then go do some research. There's so much more to learn about the great country of England. Before we move on to our next segment, we are going to take a break and play an awesome song that we heard just last week. It's from an Australian band called Teeny Tiny Stevies. It's a very cool song with a great message.
Here's the song Boss of My Own Body from the album Helpful Songs for Little People.
I'm not the boss of many things. I'm just little and still learning, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss of anyone else. I gotta let them be themselves, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am the boss. I'm not the boss of the playground. I'm not the boss of the merry-go-round, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss of my brothers and sisters. I'm not the boss of the babysitter, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. Yeah, I can make these feet run fast. I can make these legs kick high. I can make these hands hold tight. I can open my arms out wide. Double S. I'm not the boss of the supermarket. I'm not the boss of the toy basket, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss of what's served for dinner, but if I help I might get it quicker, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am the boss. I'm not the boss of driving the car. I'm not the boss of mom's guitar, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss of my bedtime. I'm not the boss of when the lights go down, but I am the boss of one thing. 'Cause I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. 'Cause I can make these feet run fast. I can make these legs kick high. I can make these hands hold tight. I can open my arms out wide. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. 'Cause I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am the boss.
Awesome. What a great song. All right, Next up, we're going to be answering Keith Brockway's question of the day.
Keith Brockway's question of the day.
All right, so the question that Keith Brockway sent us for this week is, if you won $1 million, what is the first thing you would spend it on? I think I would first want to do something nice for other people. What do you think, Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, what I might do, I think I would rent a giant ice cream truck and drive all over Philadelphia giving out free ice cream to everyone I saw. And then I would probably book a really cool trip somewhere like maybe Egypt or New Jersey.
I would want to go on a trip to London so I could go to the Doctor Who store.
Cool. Can I go with you? We'll fly first class.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, traveling to cool places is a great way to spend $1 million. All right, now we have a couple quick questions from some listeners who are not Keith Brockway. The first question is from someone named Walter from Rome, New York. Cool name. I actually have an uncle named Walter. Anyway, Walter's question is, why doesn't glue stick to the inside of the bottle?
It's because of science.
Exactly, science. Actually, your typical white school glue has water in it, so it will stay in liquid form inside the bottle. Once it gets out of the bottle, it is exposed to air, and the water inside of it dissolves and the glue dries up. It won't stick to anything until it dries. So if you were to take the lid off the bottle and leave it open for a long time, it would dry out inside the bottle because it would be exposed to air. I hope that answers your question, Walter. And then Kayleen Culver had a very interesting question. She asked, yes or no? I'm going to go with yes.
I'm going to go with no.
Great question, Kayleen. This has been Keith Brockway's question of the day.
Keith Brockway's question of the day.
Great. Now it's time for our segment with the longest title.
Animals are cool. Here are some facts about one of them.
Animals are cool. Here are some facts about one of them.
Today, we are going to be talking about a bird of prey, one of Lincoln's favorite animals. Tell them, Lincoln.
Owls.
Here are some facts about owls.
There are at least 200 species of owls.
They come in all different shapes, sizes, and appearances, and you can find them almost everywhere in the world.
Owls are carnivores.
They eat a variety of small animals such as mice, rabbits, birds, frogs, insects, and many others.
Owls swallow their prey whole.
Skin and bones and all. But owls can't digest the teeth and bones of their prey, so these parts end up getting packed into pellets inside of the owl, and then the owl regurgitates it several hours later. Gross.
Not all owls hoot.
Yeah, they don't all just say hoo. That's a stereotype. Sure, many of them do, but some owls actually make hissing sounds, screeching sounds, growls, and at least one species whinnies like a horse. So chances are, if you think you hear a horse in a tree, it's probably not just an awesome tree-climbing horse. It's most likely just an eastern screech owl. When I read about this, I had to hear it for myself, so I went online to find a sample, and it really does sound kind of like a horse. Listen, here's the sample. All right, Lincoln, what's the next fact?
Owls have incredible night vision.
They have the best night vision of any creature on Earth, which is good because most owls are nocturnal, meaning they are most active at night. They have large eyes, but they can't move them around because their eyes are long tubes instead of eyeballs, so they're stuck in place. But they can swivel their heads around almost 270 degrees, so that kind of makes up for it. So yeah, owls can't roll their eyes at you, so it's really hard to tell when they are being sarcastic.
Owls also have an incredible sense of hearing.
They can hear their prey from really far away. There's actually an owl called the northern hawk owl that is able to hear its prey even if it's under a foot of snow.
Owls are used by wizards to communicate with one another.
Wait, that's not a real fact. That's from Harry Potter, isn't it?
Yes.
Cool. Well, let's hear another real fact.
Okay. Owls are almost silent when they fly.
Yeah, they have special wings that allow them to glide quietly through the air so they can sneak up on their prey.
They kill their prey using their sharp talons and beaks.
Aw, how cute. Much like other birds of prey, owls have very sharp claws. They use their talons to stun their prey, and then they finish the job with their sharp curved beaks. I know that sounds pretty gruesome, but that's the truth. Let's end with something a little less gruesome.
Baby owls are cute.
That's right, and they are called owlets. If you want to learn more about owls, be sure to check your local library for some owl books. Libraries are awesome. You should always go to libraries. So, we are now coming to the end of this episode. We hope you've enjoyed hanging out with us. As usual, there will be links in the podcast details where you can find information about the music we've played on the show and information on how to get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you, and we would really love it if you would share this podcast with everyone you know. All right, Lincoln, make sure you say goodbye to our listeners.
Bye.
Bye, Fancy Fans. All right, we're going to end the show with a song from a band called the Green Orbs from the great state of New Jersey. They put out a new album this year called Thumb Wrestling Champions. And the first song on the album is actually called Thumb Wrestling Champions, and that's the one we want to play for you. It is perhaps the most epic song about thumb wrestling that I've heard in the last 427 days, give or take. Anyway, this song is a lot of fun. Enjoy it, and we will be back in a fortnight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thumb Wrestling Championship.
Thumb Wrestling Champion. You're the Thumb Wrestling Champion. You've got the thumbs that are faster and stronger than any other thumbs around.
Round one, a ninja versus a wizard. The ninja's thumb was blurry cause it moved so fast. But then the wizard summoned a blizzard. The ninja's thumb froze and the wizard was the winner at last.
That made my thumbs cold.
Thumb Wrestling Champion. You're the Thumb Wrestling Champion. You've got the thumbs that are faster and stronger than any other thumbs
Round two,
around.
ladies and gentlemen.
Round two, a teddy bear versus a pirate. The pirate had one eye and a thumb made of wood. But Teddy was relaxed and ready. It took one flush push and the wooden thumb was splintered for good.
Teddy bear advances to the next round.
Pushing the digits to the limits. Pushing the digits to the limits. It's the game for kings and queens, the greatest game there's ever been. Even if the thumbs are sore.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war.
It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen.
Round three, a mummy versus a pickle.
It's a pickle.
The mummy thought he had it cause pickles can't move. But the mummy's thumb was dry and crummy. His thumb turned to dust and the pickle's breaking and grooved.
That pickle stands out like a sore thumb.
Thumb Wrestling Champion. You're the Thumb Wrestling Champion. You've got the thumbs that are faster and stronger than any other thumbs around.
Hold on to your thumbs, everyone.
Round four, a space slug versus a sous chef. The slug's thumb was covered with a bunch of green slime, but the sous chef didn't feel stressed.
She has a plan.
She dipped her thumb in salt and the slug's thumb was down in no time.
I can't believe it.
Pushing the digits to the limits.
They're working so hard.
Pushing the digits to the
Their
limits.
thumbs are so strong.
It's the game for kings and queens, the greatest game there's ever been. Even if the thumbs are
1,
sore.
2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Final round, a Sasquatch versus Abe Lincoln. Abe had no chance against a thumb so vast.
He can't
But
win.
Lincoln's always thinking. He started to speak of great events from the past. Lincoln gave a speech.
What's he doing?
407 thumbs ago,
And Sasquatch
our
fed a
forearms
speech.
brought forth upon this great continent a war of thumbs.